Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about oil. And why are we talking about oil today? Because I see a lot of information out there and none of it really seems to be true. So, quick little history lesson. What was the price of oil in 1973?
I don't know. I wasn't alive then. I voted for the orange buffoon. We don't know that.
Okay, well I'm going to explain a little something to you because I lived through it. Especially in the aftermath of the 1980s. And if anyone says we want to go back to the 1980s, commit them to a mental hospital. There's something wrong with you. Seriously. Mortgage rates of 19%. Stagflation. I mean, I could go through it all. But I was young, I didn't care. Just walked everywhere. I didn't own a car for a long time. Anyways, a little bit of history. 1973 was the average price of oil at the beginning of the year was $2.75 a barrel. Well, you got to put that into context. What was minimum wage? 50 cents. Anyways, what happened? Price of oil went up, right? Well, not only did it go up, it went up 170% that year. Could you imagine? Oil was $65 a barrel. Okay? Ooh, let me get my trusty calculator out. 170%. 65 times 170%. 110. We're not there yet, but we're going to be. I did that wrong, just to let you know. 170% of 65 is not 110. It's 120, 185. So, I don't know. I just did that in my head. Don't even know if it's right. So, let's get on mark here. $2.75 a barrel. And then it went up 170%. And you think, well, just 1 year of going to $11 a barrel? Okay, well, the price would change at the pump. Cars become more efficient. People would change their lifestyle a little bit. That could have been managed, maybe. But guess what it did in 1974? Because of the Yom Kippur War. So what happened was Israel decided to go to war with the Arab states, and the Arab states said, listen, you either support us, or we're going to cut your oil off. The United States of America was importing 6 million barrels a year at that time. Europe was importing about the same. And there was no local production and all this other kind of stuff. Canada wasn't producing 5 million barrels a day. That wasn't happening. We wouldn't even talk about how much we were producing, but not like that. And then, so what did the US and the Europeans do? Which has kind of caused what's going on now. They supported Israel. So, Arab states said, fine, we'll take the pain. And they turned off the oil. So, oil went up again the following year, another 170%. Oh man. Inflation in the 1970s. You can go back on the Google and look at the video of people lining up at gas stations with those big, really big and heavy cars that got 5 miles to the gallon. And everyone's like, oh, where's all the oil? Why is this happening to us? Well, you know why it's happening to you. So anyways, 1980 rolls around. And anyone that lives in Alberta talks about this. Because the National Energy Program came in, and everyone goes, that crashed the price of oil. But in 1980, the U.S. went to the Shah of Iran, which they should not have done this. They should have kept their damn mouths shut, quit middling. But anyways, you need to ship oil to us. Because Iran had a lot of it. And they weren't shipping any. But the Shah of Iran was friendly to everybody, and he just wanted money and be rich, and kind of a dictator rich guy. Like today. So he did. And you know what that did? Changed sentiment in the country. And everyone said, whoa, what are you doing that for? Nobody else is doing it. I mean, we may not like some of these neighbors, but we're not shipping. Either you're for us or you're against us. And that caused the overthrow of the Shah of Iran. Pretty simple stuff. And the price of oil was $34.50 when that happened, 1981. And then banks of Canada, Federal Reserve, European, didn't exist, but all the countries, the UK, everybody put interest rates up to 20% because inflation was massive. Could you imagine oil going up 1,300% in 8 years? 1,300% in 8 years. We were $65 a barrel. You don't even want to, that means oil would be $900 a barrel. Could you imagine $900 oil? Anyways, this is what happened. Now, people in Alberta, they blame the National Energy Program for this, but then what happened? The war ended. And when the war ended, everyone went, oh, man, we got to pay for this war. So they started shipping oil, 6 million barrels a day back to the United States, 6 million barrels a day back to the European Union. It wasn't called that then, it was all different countries. And the Shah of Iran fell. It went into what it is today, basically. But they kept shipping their oil. They needed money too. So they started shipping their oil. And what happened to the price of oil? Dropped all the way to $9 a barrel. Went from $34.50 all the way down to $9. And this is the reason it fell. Not because of the National Energy Program. Not because any government organization. Not, nothing. The war ended. They started shipping the oil. Supply and demand. That's all it is. And we can look back on history and know this. So if you don't believe this, you're brainwashed and you need help. So here we are today. What's going to happen today? Well, I need to explain something to you. In the last 30 days, the Straits of Hormuz have been closed. The price of oil has basically gone, just hang on a second. I haven't looked at the filming of the video this morning, so I'm going to take a little look here, even though I'm filming this early in the morning. Oil's basically $100 a barrel. Okay, maybe a little higher, but basically $100 a barrel. With the Straits of Hormuz closed for 30 days, 20 million barrels of oil haven't been shipped. That is a lie. So, again, I don't understand why people don't use the Google. I don't know why media doesn't use Google. I don't know why the media won't do their jobs. 82 million barrels a day are produced in the world. Okay, it's only 82 million. And they say, well, it's 100 million. No. They don't want to explain how liquefied natural gas, propane, condensate, and other carbon-based fuels all get converted to a barrel of oil. So if you're shipping a gigajoule of natural gas, and if you live in Canada, you know what that is, or anywhere where it's cold, that's not quite 1,000 British thermal units. It's traded as 1,000 British thermal units. You see how complicated that is? Nobody wants to hear that. The news is like, we don't want to explain that. That would take 3 minutes to explain how all these measurements work, and we'll have to show you equations and teach you math. Nobody wants to know math. That keeps you stupid. So, everything gets converted. So liquefied natural gas coming out of Qatar gets converted to barrels of oil. You follow me? So that's how they get the 102 million barrels of oil created today, a day. It is not that. It is 82 million. So if 20% is cut off because of the Strait of Hormuz is closed, which it has been, that's 16.4 million barrels a day off the market, not 20. But there's a pipeline. And Saudi Arabia's increased the pressure on that pipeline, and they're sending it to the Red Sea, and currently that is open. And that pipeline runs about 1.5 million, maybe, barrels a day. And they've increased that, and everyone says, it's going to go to 7 million barrels. It cannot. That pipeline, physics people, it would just explode, and nothing would be going to the Red Sea. But Saudi Arabia would prefer to put it in a tanker and ship it through the Straits of Hormuz. It's much cheaper, much faster to get the oil out, because once it's in the Red Sea, well, it's got to go through the Bab al-Mandab Strait, which is smaller and could be closed just as easily. And going through the Suez Canal adds a month to wherever it's going. Adds a month. It's just as simple as that. And really expensive. So, they've increased that flow because, you got to get the oil out, right? So that's, 16.4, maybe 3 million going other ways. So now it's down to 13.4 million barrels a day. Not going through the strait. Not 20, 13.4. And remember, it's gasoline everyone worries about. Nobody worries about, this, the camera, the tripod, the mic, your phone has oil in it. Everything has oil in it. Okay, it's used in. I don't even want to get in. The video would be 4 hours long to get into everything that oil is in. So So now we're down to 13.4. Well, just hang on a second here. Iran's got oil, and they want to get it out. And they're going to get their own oil out with their friendly tankers. No doubt about it. You think the Orange Buffoon can stop Iran from shipping oil? You are wrong. And that guy should have read a book. Anyways, so they're going to get about 2 million out. They could do 4, but they're going to get 2. And then a few of the other countries, they're going to get a little bit out. So if you can get 2 out, that's down to 11.4. Okay? So oil offline, instead of 82 million barrels a day being produced and being shipped around the world in a nice, fun way, without too many problems, you now lose 11.4 million barrels. Let's round it down to 11. So for 30 days, we've lost the world in energy 11 million barrels a day. But importantly, Qatar ships a lot of liquefied natural gas. And this is where the other part of the equation comes in. Well, none of that's going through at all. There is no liquefied natural gas going through the Straits. You can go to the marine traffic and you can watch it, and there are no liquefied natural gas tankers that have gone through in the last 30 days, and anyone that has tried has been turned away because Iran has a toll booth. And if you want to go through, you got to pay, and they don't want to pay. So no liquefied natural gas. And that goes to all the Asian countries all over the place. Okay, it goes all over the place. That's part of oil when they talk. But it's not. That's natural gas, and that's a whole other story. So this is what's happening in the Straits of Hormuz. So what does that mean for everybody? It means the price of oil is going to go up. And quite frankly, for it to only be at $100 a barrel right now, at the filming of this video, that is manipulation by very, very, very rich people trying to keep the price down. I'm sorry, you can't lose 11 million barrels a day times 30 days. That's 330 million barrels that did not even ship. So whatever reserves are out there, gone. They used to say, oh, there's floating oil out there, blah, blah, blah. Well, if there was, which was also a scam, it's gone. It's delivered. It takes time to go all the way around the world in a ship, And people they're just like, oh, well, we'll just increase production. Really? Do you not think I'm not already producing as much oil as I can out of the well I dug? Okay, that got drilled. Do you not think, I had the oil turned off at $65? What are you going? You're mentally ill. I'm producing absolutely as much as I can. There's no more to produce. Now, I could go get a rig, and I could go plant it, a place where we think there's oil, and drill a hole 60 to 90 days, maybe, get oil. Then we got to connect it. It takes 17 months to drill a well and get it connected to the system, actually get the oil to market. 17 months. I don't even think we can do it in 17 months. But anyways, that's besides the point. So now we got $100 oil. Well, we should have had $100 oil anyways. It was manipulated down. But that's another story. So this is what's really happening in the oil markets. So this is going to cause inflation. Now, this time around, everybody kind of knows what happened last time. Kind of the last 2 times. Financial crisis, and then the Yom Kippur oil embargo of the 70s going into the 80s, and then what happened afterwards. And all the governments know what happened. All of them. They all know. They're smart. Well, they're not smart. The Orange Buffoon's stupid. But there are smart people that know. Now, they won't come out and say, like I'm going to say, we're going to have $2 a liter gasoline. In fact, in Canada, the average is probably going to be $2.50. And that's just all there is to it. There's nothing you can do about it. Okay? $2.50 a liter. Want to know what that is in USA dollars? You take your $2.50, you multiply it by 3.78, and you get $9.45 a gallon Canadian. Second of all, strong dollars make everything cheaper. Our governments should be doing everything to make the dollar strong, not increase spending and bigger deficits, and making the dollar get weaker is the dumbest thing ever. But you know what? Nobody wants that. Oh, let me tell you, they're already talking. We should get rid of the gas tax. That dumb. Roads still need to be maintained. Things still need to be built. That's not going to change. So dumb. You can either change how you do things to accommodate the inflation like we did in the 70s and the 80s, or you can cry and complain that your taxes are going up. Oh no, our property taxes are going up 8%. I'm going to have to complain. Well, go complain. That's a whole other video. I should make a video on that, on why that's happening. But that's because of where I live, the mayor in the 90s didn't put taxes up for 8 years. That's right, property taxes did not go up for 8 years. The increase to the budget for the city of Blue Sky City was 0. And now the chickens are coming home to roost because got behind on infrastructure. That's just all there is to it. Got behind on infrastructure compared to your population growth. So that's the price of oil, people. And you got to understand, the media doesn't report what's really going on. They don't want to tell you what's going on. It's all speculation now. They don't find out facts. They don't give people, hey, this is what happened in 1973. No, they don't tell anyone that. They don't tell anyone that the price of oil went to $34.50 a barrel because there was an embargo. It had nothing to do with anything other than an embargo. It would have never gone to $34.50 if the embargo never happened. If the U.S., Canada, Europeans said, nope, we're not supporting Israel. Go ahead and fight them. We don't really care. We're staying neutral. There would have never been an embargo. Simple as that. You want to go to war, you're on your own. Don't be coming to me and asking me for help. You want to do it, you go do it. Well, I'm not doing it. Okay? That would have never happened, ever. And all the things that people complain about today, especially the older people in their 70s, where I live, they wouldn't have anything to complain about because it would have never happened. So it's happening again. The orange buffoon has decided, I'm going to go to war with Iran. Well, the straits are now closed, and effectively an embargo. And if the other strait, the Bab el-Mandeb, closes, well, we will get 170% increase in oil prices this year and 170% increase in oil prices next year. For sure. If you think $200 oil is not going to happen, you close those two straits for 90 days, $200 oil. And then say open them back up after 90 days, $200 oil. For at least a year and a half, if not longer. And that's just supply and demand, the economics of the whole thing. Where are the refineries? Where is the gasoline? How does it get made? Why are we not doing it ourselves? I love this one. I lobbied the government my entire life. I finally just stopped and said nobody wants to do nothing to make us self-sufficient. Nobody. Even the people today that are saying we should have pipelines going east and west, and we should have this, and we should have that, were against it 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Everyone was against it. It's amazing. No is what I got. We can import it. Well, can't import it now. Nobody bothers to think, I can do a zero-emission refinery. I could start one tomorrow. It cost me $12 billion. No one will give me approval, so it doesn't matter if I have the money. I can build a pipeline. I can build 2 pipelines to get oil out to the rest of Canada and ship it to the world, our excess supply. Because we have excess supply in Alberta and Saskatchewan. Like, you would not believe the amount of oil sands we got is pretty big. But it doesn't make no sense to do that at $60 a barrel. Now, if we had strong Canadian dollars, well, maybe. But no, nobody wants to do it. There isn't a company out there that'll do it because they want their kickbacks and they want their subsidies and they want the government to pay for everything. Nope. Get out of the way. To a point. Remember, to a point. But nobody's going to do that. And in the short term here, in the last 30 days, nobody's going to do it. You think someone's going to put $50 billion of capital into something because of what's going on right now that could end tomorrow? The orange buffoon could tackle out and just leave and declare victory and leave. And then what? Well, by August or maybe November, everything will kind of get back to normal. So we'll be back down to $70 oil, $65 oil. That's where it was. So maybe we get back down there again. I don't know. There's a lot of destruction that's happened, a lot of problems, and it's going to take a long time to fix. But there you go. The reason the price of oil is where it is and what's going on is supply. You cut the supply off. This is not something that can just be jacked up tomorrow. And companies are greedy. They will jack the prices up. The food companies are really going to jack their prices up. You wait. The publicly traded food companies will be making more money than they have ever made before. And they'll just blame it on the price of oil went up. Trust me on this. This is what happened before. It's going to happen again. Thank you very much to the Orange Buffoon for destroying the world economy and really, really rich people taking advantage of it. Because trust me, the markets are being manipulated like you wouldn't believe. But you got to have lots of money to do that. So thank you very much for tuning into this. This is what happens when you shut down a main artery, maybe two. And the number one supply is oil. And all the greeds out there that, oh, we can go off. Every car, I've said this ever since I started driving electric in 2012. Every passenger car in the world, if I could snap my fingers and not run on gasoline or diesel, every passenger car in the world, think about how many that is. Just snap your fingers and you go out and boom, you got an F-150 Lightning in your driveway instead of a regular F-150. Okay? Just snap your fingers. Boom. One day, we will still need 82 million barrels of oil a day. It will not change the amount of oil that gets used. It'll get changed how it's used, and that'll bring down the cost of other things because of how it's used. But no, I'm sorry. It's not. You could do that tomorrow. The price of oil will not change. In fact, the price of oil will go up if that happened. But nobody wants to talk about that. So this is how it works, people. I hope you're going to enjoy your higher gas prices in Canada, in Europe, and around the world. The United States, I think, is going to hit a national average of between $6 and $7 a gallon, for sure. Okay? Even if he tacos out and says, we won, we're the greatest, we won, and leaves. That'll be worse. If boots go on the ground, they send shoulders. If they send, I don't even know how to model that. If they put troops, if they invade with troops, don't even know how to model that. They don't know what they're doing if they think they can go in and solve the problem with troops. They don't have enough troops. I really don't. They have no idea. If they do this will be really bad. $200 oil absolutely will be $200 oil if they do this. So thank you very much for tuning in for a little bit of a history lesson what happened in the 70s and the 80s and our wonderful 20% interest rates and 15% mortgages. My first mortgage was 15.9%. And what is really going on. So plan for this. This is not going to be over in 30 days. It's already 30 days, not over. 30 days from now, not going to be over. 30 days after that, not going to be over. July, not going to be over. It is not safe to travel to the United States right now. So change your plans. There's a big world out there. Have a great time. And remember, it's going to start snowing here. Oh, man. I can see out the window. It's starting to snow again. And that's spring in Blue Sky City. Have yourself a great week. And I'll see you in the future.